Hello everyone, we are White Powder from Team Second Wind and I'm from Team Wildcard. Today we are going to cast some games of our show matches against each other. The first show match will be between Dyon from Second Wind against Second from Team Wildcard.
Yeah, and like we see, Dyon is playing a Miracle Rogue, and Second is playing a Handlock. Pretty
Yes,
common matchup, I must say. Although there are quite a few cards that I would say are pretty uncommon in both decks.
yes, the handlock version is a bit slower than usual with both Alexstrasza and Jiraxis, and it also runs Cairn, which is also very slow cards. Also, it's worth noting he only runs one Defender of Argus, so it has less stunt givers.
Yeah, and we have Dyon's deck that runs Cold like Oracle, which is, I mean, it's becoming more common, and it's a very good card against Handlock.
Yes, that definitely is an advantage in this matchup. Overall, I would say that the matchup favors Handlock, but considering his version is slower than normal and Dyon runs Cold Light Oracle, the matchup is pretty close.
Yeah, definitely. Just comes down to the draw.
Indeed. It's very important for the Miracle Rogue to get off soon.
Yeah, true.
Because if the game takes too long, there will be too many taunts to pass through.
Yeah, even if just Second gets a good draw with
Gul'dan versus Valera.
Indeed.
Twilight Drakes and Mountain Giants, it's pretty hard for a Miracle
Your
Rogue to get
soul
through.
shall be mine.
Yes, we're going into game one now. You can see the mulligans.
We see Dyon, he's thinking about his hand. I mean, keeping the Gedgesan, definitely. I would keep the Shiv and throw the Sap, but I mean, it doesn't really matter that much.
I would throw the Sap away too, since it's a card you want later on in the game to sap back a taunted giant. It's not a card you want in your opening hand. You want to get it after you cycle with the Gadget Sun.
And then we see Second, I mean, he has one
Yes, a Twilight
Drake,
Drake,
yeah,
so yes, a turn 4 play.
and a Mountain Giant. I mean, Mountain Giant isn't that good against Miracle Rogue like other decks, or I mean other matchups.
He
But
doesn't have a Mountain Giant.
I mean,
Not yet.
Molten.
Molten, oh yes, Molten. Well, Dyon should play around Molten, so then it isn't very good, since a Miracle Rogue can burst before they can start dropping Mountain Giants.
Molten.
Molten Giants, yes.
Yeah.
Confusing
That's
names.
right.
Now he has the Mountain Giant. So he's probably gonna drop that next turn. And you see a very typical opening, both the Miracle Rogue and Handlock just using the hero powers.
Yeah, and here we see the Cold Light Oracle come in play.
He is thinking about Shadow Stepping the Cold Light Oracle,
I mean,
and if he should hit with the dagger.
I guess Shadow Stepping is a pretty good play here. He's gonna discard 2 cards from his enemy's hand.
Actually, yeah, he's gonna. Second is going to discard 3 cards, so.
Yeah.
The cards he burned weren't very good.
I guess he
Ancient
just
Watcher's a
has to...
bit slow.
What you want to see as Dyon here is like discarding taunts, discarding some bursts.
Taunts and burst is what
Yeah.
you want to see in this card, indeed. So I think Second is actually pretty happy with those discards, since Ancient Watchers, it's decent but not that great.
It's good for the removing the concealed Gadgeson, but that's about it.
The Leroy discard hurts though, since it's actually nice if you can finish the Miracle Rogue quickly. Because you sometimes can get a really early finish if you get a Mountain Giant and can do some hits.
Yeah, for sure.
I would Soulfire the Cold Light Oracle if I were Second. He's thinking about it, and he ends up keeping the Soulfire. I disagree with it, but it's Soulfiring a 2/2 isn't that great.
Yeah, I mean, it's so common just to... I mean, if
I think it's correct
if he
to
saps here, His second is gonna discard another card. That's why, like, I guess I would Soulfire.
Yes. And Dyon is most likely going to Sep since he has no other way to deal with the giant and doesn't have a very good play overall.
Yeah, I mean, he would have a really good hand if he had a backstab.
Yes.
Now it's just, he has two Eviscerate, so he can deal with a giant. Or not. He goes for the face, which is pretty strange in my opinion.
It's a very strange move. I would rather Shift or drop the Blood Mage Stalnos since those cycle, and eviscerating his face now is pretty pointless. You want to save it for the end to burst your opponent down.
For sure.
That also like plays around Molten Giants. You see second discard a Soulfire. That's actually pretty painful to discard since Soulfire is a good card. It's very nice against Miracle Rogue because it's a huge tempo play which can be nice against them.
Yeah, we see the Mountain Giant coming out again. Pretty standard. Pretty easy play for second. Then he drops an Owl, which, I mean, it's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's a fine move since he has a big hand anyway, and it puts more pressure on the board, so I agree with him playing it.
So let's see how Dyon does this. I mean, he just drew Leroy, so he has kill potential in probably 2 turns, I guess.
Yeah, he's quite close right now. He's 6 damage short. We are probably gonna see a shift, yes, on the Iron Beak Owl to cycle. He could have dropped Gadget Sand and went for preparation, but it wasn't a very good one, so I think it's correct to just shift and drop the SI7. It puts second very low, which is kind of risky because he could drop a Molten Giant and the Sun Fury right now, and if second had that, Dyon would be in a very bad position.
Yeah.
Turns out he doesn't have it, so it's very nice for for Dyon now.
Yeah, and I would say second would be in a very good position if he had like 2 taunts in his hand. But I mean, the problem is he doesn't have any taunts.
Yes, he could make a risky play with Hellfire and drop the double Molten since it would put him to 11 HP. That would turn out bad since then he would die to the Leroy Eviscerate, Leroy Hero Power and Prep Eviscerate. It would be a decent play though since it puts a lot of damage, like it threatens lethal next turn.
Yeah.
But it would be too risky, so let's see what he does.
We see that he has enough damage if he does that. I mean, Dyon would win if he does Hellfire, Molten Giant.
Indeed. That would be too risky of a play since it would die to like Leroy Shadow Stab.
Yeah, he does the safer play.
Indeed.
Soulfiring and then attacking the 2/2. I agree with this play, definitely. I guess you
I also agree. And
drop the Owl as well, just to get some more board presence.
yeah, dropping the Owl is fine since there's not really a target you want to silence against Miracle Rogue. Maybe an Edwin Van Cleave, but as Miracle Rogue, you probably don't really care about making a big Edwin Van Cleave against Handlock since it's most likely going to be Siphon Salt. So I wouldn't be afraid of an Edwin.
Here we see the Gadgesan doing what the Gadgesan does best.
Yes, it.
Oh, you're not gonna eviscerate here. You should shiv. Always shiv first. I mean, he has 2 preparations, so he's probably gonna play both spells, but if you shiv, you get 2.
Yeah, he should indeed shift first since it draws more cards and more damage to face is irrelevant.
Oh, here we see the conceal as well. So then I guess he shiv conceals pretty standard.
Indeed.
And this is a really big problem for second. Well,
if it would draw a Throne Gift, it wouldn't be too bad, but as we don't have one, so he's in a really tough spot.
Yeah. I guess he has to. I mean, he's gonna play the Molten Giant, whatever's happening. I guess he has to tap.
Yeah, he
Hope
needs to tap,
hope for the
otherwise he
best.
is, without a taunt, he's 100% dead and he knows it.
And he does
He
get
gets
this,
the Sun
yeah.
Fury, which is good.
So he stays
It
alive.
was pretty high chance that he would get it, since he was pretty deep into his deck, and no taunt giver drawn yet. So right now it's actually looking pretty decent for second. Like he has 2 big taunts and threatens lethal next turn.
But there is an auctioneer out there. He's gonna draw a lot of cards.
Yes, and Blade Flurry is a nice draw right here. Blade Flurry will be good for clearing the board together with the Deadly Poison in his hand.
Yeah.
That already clears most of the board. Still, right now it's looking quite rough, since like Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry can only take out 1 giant if you hit it, and then Blade Flurry.
Yeah.
And it would take out the 2 small minions, and you could take out the 8/8 giant with the Cold Blood on the Gadget and trading it, but then you would still have a giant left on the board, so it's not really what you want, but it's a decent play.
I mean, he does have another.
Yeah, he does get more draws from playing the Deadly Poison.
Yeah, and he has another Deadly Poison in his deck. See a Fan of Knives. I mean, I guess you would use 1 Cold Blood to see if you draw another.
The second Deadly Poison wouldn't be that great though, since it would be 5 damage and both the giants have 6 health, so it still wouldn't really deal with the problems.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess.
So I actually think just hitting and Blade Flurrying is best. And the Sept was a really nice top deck. That's the best I could have gotten from it.
Yeah.
Since it allows him to clear the entire board, and he's close enough damage to lead.
I guess that was the only draw he could have gotten to stay alive.
Indeed.
He's on 6 HP, and he knows there's no Soulfires, there's no Leroy.
Yes. So even though he's like dangerously low, it's actually not too bad, since the only way to die would be to do 2 double Hellfire, or if second ran like crazy cards like Arcane Golems, but as far as we know, we know he does not. So
Yeah.
there's no way for him to die.
So I mean, I guess he has to tap and hope for the best again.
Yeah, we're gonna see tap and hopefully draw a taunt giver.
Nope, not this time.
He gets a healer, which is decent, but it's not good enough.
No, and we see, I mean, Leroy, double Cold Blood.
Yeah, there's a huge overkill in Dyon's hand, so game 1 is going to go to Dyon from Team Second Wind.
Yeah. Ah, there's the second Deadly Poison.
The well
It's pretty
played
funny
has been
that.
set.
Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say I thought both the Shadow Steps were in the last 2 cards, but he used one before.
Did he?
Yeah, on the Cold Light Oracle.
Oh yeah, correct.
So it's
So yes, game 1
yeah.
goes to the Miracle Rogue. Miracle Rogue, which is a very popular deck right now, both in tournaments and on ladder. It has been performing really well. The deck is capable of like a clean sweeping opponent, just because it's very strong when you get the right draws.
Yeah. So second goes with a Druid deck. Obviously a ramp deck, we see from the title. That is a very slow deck. Wow. He runs Ysera and Alexstrasza.
That is indeed a very slow deck, even slower than most Ram Druids, which are already very slow.
I mean,
Just like his handlock deck, it seems like Second really likes the late game drops. I'm not sure if I like this deck choice.
No. I mean, Ramp can be very good against Miracle, but that's because of the taunts. But he doesn't run any big taunts. He runs 1 Sunwalker.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I kind of disagree with this deck choice, because indeed he doesn't have those big taunts. Although those big taunts are also not that great because if you drop an Ancient of War and it just gets sapped, it's very annoying. So
Yeah,
Senjin actually does sort of the same job as an Ancient of War, because it's still annoying for a Miracle Rogue to kill one. I mean, you need to like eviscerate it and hit it with your dagger, which takes up a lot of mana, so it's really hard to then get your combo off.
I guess.
But overall, I think his deck choice is weird, considering he doesn't have that many taunts. And overall, I think Miracle Rogue is pretty good against Ram Druid because you can very easily just go off with your Gadget Sand.
Yeah.
Because the Ram Druid is very slow, so you have all the time to draw all the combo pieces you need. I would actually mulligan everything away if I were Dyon. I would also mulligan away the Eviscerate, since you'd rather want your Gadget Sun Auctioneer.
Yeah. I mean,
Team mulligans everything.
I
So.
sometimes keep a backstab just to get your combo cards off.
In
But
certain matchups, like against
against,
Zoo, but against a Druid, it's not gonna be good. Like backstabbing,
I mean, against Token Druid, I would definitely keep it, but
true.
maybe he
And
knows
he
it's
might
bad.
actually think it's Token Druid, since Token Druid is, I think, pretty decent against Miracle Rogue. I think
Yeah,
it actually does better than Ram Druid.
for sure.
Um, we see that second has an Innervate and a Wild Growth, so that's actually pretty good. Because with
Yeah,
Wild Growth now, that really does accelerate his game a lot.
yeah.
So it's definitely a good start for
It's kind
him.
of needed, to be honest.
Yeah, especially if you're first. That's actually where it's the most notable when you use Velcro, because it's not one mana that you're ahead, but it's actually two. So
Yeah,
it's like
for
a
sure.
really, it's like you have Innervate every turn, which is very strong.
Now he's probably gonna innervate Cairn, or maybe he might wait one turn and innervate a Ancient of Lore, but
I would innervate the Cairn because it fits the mana curve better. If you innervate Cairn now, you can next turn drop the Druid of the Claw.
yeah, true.
If you wait next turn, it's not very good, because then next turn you can you can play Druid of the Claw or innervate Lore, so it doesn't fit the curve well.
Dyon has zero ways to deal with this.
Yeah, his only response would be a sap, and he doesn't have it. So I think he should just shift phase and see what he draws, just to cycle the deck and
He's
maybe drop
actually
Druid.
gonna go for just hero powering.
Yeah, I would have done the shift, since it would have done the same damage to his face, but it cycles, and I think cycling the shift is good, since shift is really useless against Druid.
Yeah, I think you
Like,
need to do it here as well, because you have no cards to deal with any drops.
yeah. Yeah, so I disagree with that play. Could be worse, but I think here second should just charge the Druid of the Claw and apply more pressure. What most people tend to do is taunt up the Druid of the Claw, which I think is a mistake, and he ends up taunting it up. I don't like that, since I think against Miracle Rogue it's very good to apply pressure. Like, he didn't have an answer for the Cairn now, so what is he gonna do against a Cairn and a 4/4 guy on the board that is charged and like just does so much damage?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Second, that's a pretty good.
he could be thinking that an Eviscerate kills it. Now he has to have Backstab and Eviscerate.
True, but even like if it gets eviscerated, it has already done 4 damage and it eats up an eviscerate. So
Yeah.
if it eats up damage, it's good, since then it's less likely that you die. I actually disagree with the swipe here. I would have done Keeper of the Grove for 2 damage and killed it with hero power, and that again develops your board further, and it's more damage efficient.
I agree for sure. Here we see an Eviscerate, at least something that he can...
Yeah, we're going to see a Gadget Hunter now. He is hoping for something good.
He kind of has to, because he has nothing, like...
Yeah, it's looking very bad for him right now. Oh, and there's the conceal. If he got in that earlier, he could have concealed the Gadget Sand.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is looking very good for second, and then now he can drop a Ancient of Lore, develop his hand a bit more, and his board.
Yeah, it will be impossible for Dyon to deal with that board, and it just lets it gives Second a lot of draws, so he can just get the cards that he needs to finish out the game. And you see
Yeah,
a healing touch, so I think the game is done now with the healing touch in hand. There's no way Dyon will be able to finish him quickly.
and the Mark of the Wild goes on the Cairn, even another big taunt. I mean, I don't see any way of him getting back in this game.
I got the best deals, Penny.
I
He
don't
has
see
to draw
one.
like prep.
Sap, prep, sap, and then
Yeah,
it's really tough. I believe Flurry would have been decent right now. It would have allowed him to at least clear the 5-5 and the
but
4-6.
you can go with the Shiv on the 4-6, draw a prep,
And then prep into Blade Flurry.
and then prep
Yeah,
into
that's
sap.
possible.
Yeah.
Or prep into sap. Yeah.
He needs a prep here or he's dead.
Yeah,
Oh, there it is.
he does
There
not
it
get
is.
it, so
Yeah,
it's
he does.
oh, there
He
it
does.
is.
But not
Yeah.
what he wanted.
No, there's no Blade Flurry and no sap, so it's he could still get another prep.
But he has 10 cards now.
This is just desperation digging.
Yeah. Second takes it for wildcard, game 2.
Yeah, game 2 goes to Ramdruid, although I expected it to lose against the Miracle Rogue. It actually won very convincingly, so
Yeah, I mean,
that was an interesting game.
we saw Second get a very good start, and Dyon did not have the cards to deal with it.
Indeed, the very accelerated start with the Wild Growths and and Innervate were just too tough to deal with.
So Dyon actually goes with the deck I told him to use.
Well, that was good advice. I also agree with going with Shaman against Ramdruid.
Yeah, this is the deck I used in Gosu, which won me a lot of games, I must say.
Yeah, congratulations on reaching the finals there.
Yeah, pretty unlucky that my
indeed
computer broke down in the finals, but that's life.
Yeah, bad things happen. And, yeah, this is a good deck choice. Hex is really good in this matchup.
He, however,
against, for example, the
one
Cairn.
lightning strike, which is not what I do, and he runs 2 Shieldwind Yetis. I mean,
I actually like the one Lightning Storm in my own Shaman deck. I've also run that in tournaments with only one Lightning Storm, since I used it as counter deck to decks like this, and Lightning Storm simply does nothing in this matchup. So as a counter deck, I think it's actually a very smart choice.
Absolutely.
You could even consider cutting bow, but that just feels awkward since sometimes it's a very hard.
I mean, Lightning Storm is so useful in some matchups, and I mean, if he doesn't just
you also
win one game.
Yeah, you want to win multiple, so I think one copy is fine.
Yeah. This Shaman deck it's so consistent. That's the good thing. Even if you don't get your combo, the Leroy Wind Fury combo, it can still win a lot of games.
Yes, both are also pretty good standalone cards. Like Leroy also by itself has a lot of burst, and Wind Fury on the Fire Elemental is also insane. Although then you need to have a survive.
Yeah, we see Dyon keeping a Manatite Totem, which is, I mean, I would say it's pretty strange.
Well, I would actually have done that too, because it's very good against Ramdruid, because they often have to use like Rat on it, and you've already psychoed your Manatite Totem and they read it, so it nets you card advantage. So I actually like to keep it. But it's greedy to keep it.
Yeah.
So it's.
And we see it didn't really get any good draws.
Yeah, right here it doesn't. It isn't very good because Second had a strong start again with the Wild Growth and Innervate again.
Yep.
So that's why it doesn't turn out that well.
Would you swipe here?
No, I would just hit it and hero power actually. Like this lets him do 4 more damage to the face, but I don't think that's worth it because swipe can be pretty good against Shaman, especially if you run spell power. I don't know if he runs that, but
I don't think so.
I think he might run an Astro Drake or something. Like overall, swipe is just a very good card against Shame. Like I would rather save it and use it on something like an Unbound Elemental. I feel like swiping something that has 0 attack, which you can just hit, is not worth it. Like he could just save the swipe, and if like all this did was do 4 more damage to the face. Like if he kept the swipe, he could have just swiped the face later on in the game.
That's actually a pretty lucky draw for second right there. He had no plays and he draws a 5-drop.
Yeah. Although it isn't exactly a good naked 5 drops, like it's pretty weak on its own.
Yeah, but still, I mean...
Since one to combo it.
Now he has a really good mana
definitely.
curve.
Yeah, he's been getting pretty good draws with like the wild growths early on in the game. Really helped him out to smoothen the curve.
Here we see, I guess Azure Drake Lightning Bolt on the 4/4.
Yeah, that seems like a good. It's very efficient removal and.
You kind of need to get rid of the auctioneer as well.
Yeah, you don't want him to get too many out of it, and it just like you have huge card advantage now, Dyon. So it's looking actually pretty good. Like there's not that much pressure on him, and with card advantage, and he drew the hex. Although second does get a very nice trade, trading us bubble for the Azure Drake.
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't really have like any good plays here as well.
I think he probably has to drop a fire elemental, although it isn't very good. Maybe a Chill and Jetty and just hero power. That's also a fine play since he has a Flame Tongue Totem in hand, so maybe he can use his totem to clean something up then.
Yeah, it would feel so bad to drop the fire elemental when you know it's gonna die to the 5/5 that's on the board.
Yeah, indeed. So I think Totem, Chill and Jetty is fine. I disagree with the placement. He should place the Chill and Jetty on the left, since it works better with Flame Tongue Totem because your totem from your hero power spawns on the right. So as Shaman, you generally want to position your minions in a way that you have your strongest minions on the left, and then your weakest minions on the right. That works best with Flame Tongue in general.
Here we're just gonna see the swipe.
So you're very good swipe.
This is looking better and better for second.
Yeah, he's able to develop the board while applying a lot of pressure, so and keeping the enemy board clear. The problem with Dyon is that he has a lot of strong cards, but they are not very good right now. Like he doesn't have the board control, and these cards aren't good enough right now to take back the board, which is what he needs to do.
Yeah.
He's in a tough spot. I think here you do the Astro Drake and maybe drop like an Unbound or hex the 5/5, although hexing the 5/5 feels very bad. It might be something you need to desperately do. He indeed does do it. I think it's correct to do it.
Yeah, now we're gonna see the Ysera for sure.
Yeah, Alexstrasza is kind of pointless since he is already on 15 HP, so being able to drop Ysera on turn 9 when you have some taunts to protect it and you just saw Hex use is a very good feeling. I think second will be very confident right now that he will win the game.
He gets the Nightmare, which is probably what he wanted, to be honest. When your opponent...
It's definitely a good card, like... most dream cards would have been fine, like everything except Laughing Sister would have been good. Yeah. Even like Dream for tempo, since the main problem Dyon is suffering from right now is that he cannot like gain board control, so if you get Dream it is very good to, you know, keep it that way, you know, to keep Dyon's tempo down.
Yeah.
And obviously Ysera Awakens is really good against stuff like Feral Spirits.
doesn't really have an obvious play here. I guess.
I would wild grow to see what you draw, and then probably drop the Cairn and hero power something, depending on what he gets from the wild growth.
He gets the Wrath.
Oh, that's a very good draw. You can red the Fire Elemental for 4 damage and kill it off with Blood Mage Talnos.
Yeah.
And then after that he can drop the Cairn and he can easily take out the Unbound with the Ysera, so... yeah, right now you see Second developing card advantage through some good draws and the Ysera, and he has board control, so it's looking very good for him.
Yep.
I see no way actually for him to lose this game.
No, I don't either.
With already 1 hex used, especially, it's gonna be so hard. I think he will end up hero powering Chill and Jetty and Argus in the middle to protect himself, since yeah, he should. He probably feels like he's close to dying right now.
The thing is that this deck can actually 1-turn kill 30. That would be so fun to see, like him having the perfect combo.
Oh, he goes for the greedy play and doesn't taunt up. I think that's actually lethal. Since Second has Good of the Claw and Nightmare, so that's 9 damage. And
12.
yes, that's 17 damage.
Yeah, 17 damage.
So game 3 goes to Second with his Ram Druid,
Yeah.
making a strong appearance.
We thought it wouldn't be that good, but I mean, he's won 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I actually think both games favored Dyon in terms of matchup, but turns out Ram Druid is OP.
Yeah. Never see.
Let's see if he can, you know, get a clean swipe with his Druid deck, you know, beating 3 of Dyon's deck with it, or if Dyon will be able to take the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure which deck Dyon has left. Maybe Handlock. I think he said he would run Handlock. Oh, Token Druid.
Token Druid, that's a very interesting choice going for the Mirror. It's the Mirror, although those are completely different decks.
I mean, Token Druid is super strong if you can get the right cards.
Yes, I can definitely see the Token Druid being able to like game board early and just win the game from there on out. Because in Druid matchups, like having board control is like key.
Yeah.
So this deck is pretty good at that.
Well, we've seen
interesting card choice is the Blood Knight. I think the Blood Knight can actually be good against. You saw a Sunwalker last game to steal the bubble from that.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's a pretty. The Blood Knight is an interesting deck card, which quite a lot of Token Druids run because it synergizes with the Argent Squire, and overall it's a very standard Druid deck. Not everyone runs Leroy, but nowadays it's also pretty common.
I mean, Leroy is just such a good legendary.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost in every deck currently.
Yeah. We've seen Second being very, very good at drawing wild growths and innervates, which is pretty important in this matchup as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think if Second gets those good draws, he will win, since his minions simply are higher quality. So if you can survive till the late game, you know, and just keep popping minions and trade for board control, I think he is favored. And he does get the wild grow.
Wow.
Dyon's opening hand is also very good with a solid 2 and 3 drop, so I would keep those definitely.
I would be kind of mad if I was Dyon, when I see the wild growth again, and a 1-drop.
Oh, that's very good. He can actually play the Argent Squire now.
Okay, I guess he wants to wait for the Blood Knight.
I think he didn't play it because he was afraid of Second hero powering it, and he wants to drop it in combination with the Blood Knight.
I guess. Now he has 2 though.
Yeah.
I would drop both of them. And then next turn, do you just imagine?
Yeah, dropping.
He's gonna innervate. He's gonna innervate his Sunwalker now. Just imagine if he dropped
I would innervate the Cairn.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I didn't see the Cairn, but he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he is going for the Sunwalker, it seems, but dropping the Cairn is better here, since Cairn is a slower minion than Sunwalker, so you should drop that first to get value out of it. Sunwalker is more a minion you want to play later on,
Yeah.
when like your life total matters, or if you want to summon it to protect an important creature like.
We're actually gonna see a 9/9 Blood Knight right here.
Yeah, this is insane. Yeah, you should definitely. Wow. Do that. That's very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have
agree.
liked to see Second's face when he saw that 9/9 Blood Knight come out.
It would
That's
have been a
actually
12
very
as
hard
well.
to deal with since he doesn't run Big Game Hunter, I believe, or at least
Yeah,
he doesn't have
he
it in
does
his
run
hand.
big game.
Okay. He doesn't have it in his hand though, so yeah, it's gonna be hard to deal with, definitely. Oh, and he could draw the Keeper, that would be a good answer,
Yeah.
so.
And he's gonna drop the Keeper here. 2 damage
Yeah, that's
to
a
the
good play, deals
Sunwalker.
nicely with the board.
I mean, I wouldn't. There's like no better start for Dyon here.
It's looking very good for Dyon now. He has card advantage and he has the board. He can start dealing a lot of damage right now.
Now I would just put out as many minions as you can. Just put
Yeah,
out
I
the.
would drop the Violet Teacher and the Argent Squire. That sets up a very strong Sephiroth next turn and just hit face with the minions. There's no need to hit the Cairn. It doesn't accomplish anything.
Yeah, you can't really deal with it, so.
And the only reason to maybe hit it is if you want to play around Mark of the Wild Faceless Manipulator on it, but that's very unlikely when he has 4 cards in hand, so it's definitely correct to just go for face.
Yeah.
Right.
What is that, Wrath for 1? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can kill it with the Cairn.
That's not the drop he was looking for. The
I think he
Alexstrasza.
was hoping for something cheaper.
Yeah.
He kills the bubble, which I understand since he's probably afraid for another Blood Knight. Although most people only run one.
He has 6 damage. I guess you just drop the Drake.
Yeah, he's 4 of lethal. Oh, he's gonna Sephiroth now?
Now he's gonna clear the board. I kind of
Okay.
agree with this.
I don't know, it clears the board efficiently and gives it 1/1. I probably would have saved it to burst in the end.
Oh,
But
second
it's
is gonna
not
be
a
mad.
bad
No.
play.
He gets the Big Game Hunter 1 card away after
Yeah,
his Wrath.
that's very unfortunate.
What is 5, 6, 7, 9?
It's not enough damage for Lethal, so I think he's just gonna inch the floor for card draw, hoping for some
Yeah, he had
more
14.
damage.
Yeah, he had 14 damage last turn, but... Would you kill the 5/5 here?
I would trade my Violet Teacher and the 2 1/1s into it, simply because right now, if Second has Swipe, it's almost the full board clear, so I think it's correct to trade.
I mean, in this...
Applying more pressure also is fine since he's really close to dying, but... And I guess if he had Swipe, he would have swiped last turn. I mean, you could use that as argument for not trading.
Yeah. We see he's thinking about Alexstrasza or just healing and taunting. That's probably what he's gonna go with, I guess. He's thinking about, yeah, dropping.
Yeah, there's a couple
Ancient of
options.
Lore. I don't know if it's bugged or what's happened.
Maybe this is just doing mad. I mean, Alex Strassing himself also is a decent play. I mean, if Alex Strasses himself and trade 5/5 into the 5/5, he survives. But...
Yeah, but then he's like basically in the same situation as it was before, just with an 8/8 instead of a 5/5. but with 2 less
Yeah,
HP.
it does give him a bigger target to taunt up with the Mark of the Wild.
But he
I
actually
will
had
probably
lethal.
go with the Laura.
Dyon had lethal if you would have gone with Alexstrasza.
Really?
Yeah. I think he has lethal now. Yeah, with the innervate.
Yeah, with the innervate he would have had lethal. Yeah, I didn't see the draw yet. Now he still has lethal though. It's a good game.
Yeah. So we're
So
gonna
game
go
4
to game
goes to
5
Dyon.
here.
Yeah, we're going down to the final match. This is gonna be a close series. 2-2 now.
We see the Blood Knight doing work in this matchup.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest value Blood Knight I've seen in a while.
Yeah, for sure. I would have liked to see the 12-12 Blood Knight though. If he would have dropped double Argent Squire
Sure.
turn 2.
If it was possible, he yeah. And that could have worked.
So we see a Shaman deck coming off a second here. It looks like a bit of a, just like, board control Shaman. With a
Yeah,
lot of
overall
with a lot
pretty
of cards drawn.
standard. Yeah, it's not one of the version Dyon used was very bursty, and this deck is way more control oriented, like board control.
Yeah,
It doesn't run the
he's,
Leroy Wind Fury Lava Burst.
nah, he's looking for the Alakir Rockbiter finish.
Yeah, interesting that he runs an Ooze. It's a dead card in this matchup, so.
Yeah.
Overall, he does run a Stormforged Axe and the double Lightning Storm, so that's really good against Token Druid to just keep the board clear. So it's gonna be a close game. I think it's a pretty even matchup overall.
Yeah, I mean, if
I think
the
it's
Shaman
favors
can
Shades.
yeah, it favors Shaman. But I mean, if
But it's
Dyon
definitely
gets going,
winnable for Token Druid.
for sure.
It's good that second plays a Shaman version without Argent Squire. You see those very often, like the Argent Squires plus Argus combo, because those work really well together, but that would have been pretty bad in this matchup if Dyon had a Blood Knight.
Yeah.
It's nice that he does not have those in his Shaman deck.
He's thinking about mulligan everything. I think I would mulligan everything here as well, just because you're going first. If you were going second, I think I would keep one keeper.
Yeah, I would mulligan it also, since Keeper isn't very good, because it doesn't deal with Feral, it doesn't deal with Unbound, so it's pretty weak. You rather have like a Harvest Golem or a Loot Hoarder, so you can actually play some minions with you. He ends up keeping the Swipe, which is fine. I mean, it deals with the Unbound.
So we see the very common Innervate Harvest Golem.
I'm not sure if I like it. Innervate and Harvest Golem always feels a bit weak to me. I generally just wait and like play it on turn 3 and innervate something later, but it's pretty nice. It does clear the totems against Shaman, so it isn't a bad choice.
Yeah. We see that second had the cards to deal with it, at least the first one.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to Lightning Bolt it. He might, but that's pretty weak.
Yeah, I mean then I think he would totem. Even though
Either
it's gonna
totem
die.
or drop. I think actually dropping Blood Mage is the best play right here, because if you drop Blood Mage, Dyon is forced to hero power it. Okay, well, because he rolled 1/1 totem, it's the same. But like now, Dyon is forced to hero power it, otherwise it could trade the 2/1.
Yeah.
The 1/1 into the 2/1, so that prevents Dyon from developing the board with Harvest Golem. So I think that's why dropping the 1/1 would have been better. But since he got rolled to 1/1 totem, that's good, obviously.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna see the same thing. I mean, if he doesn't drop the Blood Knight last turn, he's not gonna drop it again.
Yeah, although I disagree with it. Like, I think dropping the Blood Mage right now is better because it forces out like the hero power.
We're probably gonna see the hero power anyways this turn, but...
Yeah. But like it prevents Dyon from dropping something like a Violet Teacher. Well, he could obviously do it, but if he does that, then you can trade the 1/1 into the 2/1, so then it turns out fine.
I actually like Second's chances here. He has a really good hand.
I'm not sure if I would have coined the Astro Drake. Well, it's pretty good.
He has no
I would
other
have
play though.
Oh, I could have. Yeah, never mind. You drew the unbound from the Astro Drake. I would have considered dropping that, but he got it after playing the Astro Drake. So.
And there again we see the taunted.
Yeah, again, I would have charged it. Like, I think it's better to apply pressure, especially like he has a swipe, a claw, and force of nature, like a lot of damage in his hand. So I think just applying more pressure is good.
He has a lot of damage. I guess he has to swipe here.
Yeah, I would just Blood Mage swipe, hit face. It's, But imagine if he had charged it, like the second would be at 12 HP now.
Yep.
It would have been just so good. Like, you would have a lethal next turn with like Force of Nature.
Yeah, I don't really see any good plays here for second.
I think the best player is Unbound Elemental and Hex the Druid of the Claw to prevent more damage.
Yeah.
Since you have no other way to deal with the 4/6, so you need to Hex it.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. The thing is that...
And Token Druid doesn't have... It's actually okay to Hex a 4/6. Like, the biggest creature in Token Druid is like a 4/6 and a 5/5.
Yeah.
Like the Agent of Lores and isn't much to Hex.
Second is dead here to a Savage Roar. But he doesn't get it.
Yeah, and just draw with Lore.
See a Keeper, Azure Drake, pretty good draws.
It's not bad. It's kind of unfortunate for second that he doesn't have any taunts like Feral Spirits. Those would be pretty good to, you know, deal with the pressure.
I guess we will see Lightning Storm here.
I think we'll see a Lightning Storm followed by a Lightning Bolt to clear the 5/5 and then probably drop like Dews.
Yeah.
Or maybe Blood Mage, Lightning Storm. Well, the spell damage doesn't really help.
We could go for another Unbound and then Lightning Storm and Lightning Bolt.
I only see one Unbound. Oh, he has the one. A second, okay. Yeah, then I would definitely do that. Just drop this. No, wait, he's overloaded, so if he does that, he cannot
he is?
Storm. Yeah, from last turn he played. No, never mind.
No, he wasn't overloaded.
Yeah, it's because he already played it, so the mana disappeared, so it looked like it was overloaded.
It's going for double...
Casting struggles.
I guess he was hoping for Taunt Totem. I guess that's the only, or...
Yeah, or the...
But
yeah, the spell
power
damage
didn't do
totem
anything.
wouldn't have done anything, no.
Do we see... 9... Well, he has 11 damage. Right now, with the Savage Roar and the Panther, whatever it's called, I forget.
Yeah, Power of the Wild.
Yeah, putting it 1/1.
Yeah, so he's 4
11
short of
damage.
lethal.
Yeah. I mean, now you see, like, he has nothing to deal with the Unbound Elementals. So he's just, like, thinking...
Yeah, I would just try and develop the board with the Asher Drake and the Harvest Golem.
And we see the...
Well, that's a good draw that sets up for a nice play next turn.
Yeah.
With
And then I
the
guess
combo.
he's just gonna go for phase, so he has 14.
Yeah, it's exactly 14, so
Ooh. He actually gets the draw that he wants.
yeah, that's a good draw.
sick.
Those are gonna be some buffed up elementals since he's probably gonna Lightning Storm.
Yeah, that's a pretty sick draw, to be honest.
Well, actually, the Lightning Storm doesn't do that much.
No.
Because he cannot play the Blood Mage when if he also wants to play the Pharaohs, because now he actually has overloaded.
Well,
I mean, you need to drop the Pharaoh Spirit. You're at 14 HP against the Druid, against the Token Druid on turn 9. Like, you know he runs the combo, so,
he does go for the Lightning Storm.
if he rolls high on the Asher Drake, it's pretty good, then he can kill it with the 1/1 totem.
Oh, he doesn't though.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Now he needs to kill it with Unbound. Like 6-8 Unbound, that's pretty crazy.
I think I would actually go for. You kind of need to go for Force of Nature here, I think.
I think
Because he has
we'll
the
see
leeway.
some. I think we might see some like Violet Teacher, Claw, Hero Power, Power of the Wild, since Claw Hero Power takes out one taunt and then he develops a decent board with the Violet Teacher and stuff.
I must safeguard them.
Thinking about Keeper.
Yeah, you can science the 6/6 to turn it into a 2/4. That's a pretty good play. Like, it removes a lot of damage from the board. Since you also have to think about dying, although second is overloaded for 4 next turn, so he only has 5 mana, so he's pretty safe.
But what is he gonna do now? Like kill one of them?
For the wild.
You know, I think drop a 3/2 Panther. Pretty good turn actually. I think that was a good play. But not great, but one of the better plays. Second, I would just drop the Gadget Sand to try and develop the board, take out the 2 minions and the rest to face.
I guess. Would you not drop the Savage Roar next turn then? For Dyon? Clear the taunt and then go for face? I mean, you have Leroy Savage Roar.
Well, it's not lethal if second clears the board here and then just.
No,
I don't know why
it's
totem.
lethal in 2 turns. I mean, he has a
Yeah, in
6.
2 turns, but then like. Yeah, in 2 turns it is lethal, but you know, second might draw another taunter and like he has no better play. Like,
But yeah, he has.
like he does totem plus ooze. I think that's worse. I think he should have just gone for the Gadget Sun. It gives him higher chance to roll taunt totem, then I think getting out a stronger minion is good.
I think Dyon's only chance to win here is to Savage Roar, Force of Nature this turn. Clear the taunt, and then go for face with the rest, and then hope he doesn't have a taunt.
I think he should probably just develop the board with Violet Teacher, Blood Knight, Power of the Wild for +1/+1.
But that's just gonna die though. It's not gonna do anything. I mean, the Violet Teacher is gonna die to the 6 damage Unbound.
Yeah, true. The entire board would be cleared, and second would still have the taunt, so it wouldn't be very good now. So it might be better to just like go for the Force of Nature.
We can see that he has a Argent Commander. I mean, second has an Argent Commander, so I mean Dyon can't know it, but I think. I mean, Shaman has so
he hasn't seen a Fire Element or an Argent Commander yet, so he should.
Yeah, he's going for it. I agree with this. But not with the Savage Roar. That I think is.
It's also okay. Like it's the same as your play. Like your play clears the taunt and sets up lethal next turn. This does the same.
But the thing about doing the play with the Power of the Wild is that you have 2 damage.
You have Savage Roar next turn to kill like a taunt totem.
Yeah. Oh, that's GG.
Indeed.
Second doesn't get the 50-50.
Well, that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah. I mean,
So yes, the first show match is going to go to Team Second Wind, with Dyon taking the win 3-2 over second from Team Wildcard. Very close series. Actually, was a very close last game too. Like Dyon was also almost that. Like he's gotten pretty low right now.
yeah. I mean, that was a pretty good match. We see that second
Yeah,
win
it
is
was a
just
very good match.
second win is just a little bit stronger.
Yeah, in this match, the Second Win comes out ahead. Yeah, a 3-2 win, close series. It's a really nice games.
For sure. I mean, both played pretty similar. Both made some mistakes, but I mean, you can't always play perfect.
Yeah, both played pretty well overall. I think there were maybe like a bit too many mistakes, like especially in the first couple of games.
Yeah.
With the Miracle Rogue and Handbook.
Yeah.
Like those games at the start. But the last couple games were pretty solid, so overall well played by both players, and yeah, it was a nice
sure.
match.
So 1-0 to Second Win in the show match. We'll see
Yes.
if Wildcard can take it
Bring
back
it
in
back,
game 2.
or if Second Wind will take it home all the way. We will have 4 more show matches coming up. In total 5 show matches, so stay tuned and watch the other videos.
Yeah. So that is it for us for this game at least.